I'm curious, how many of you have slept through the night? Fully through the night, like you went to bed and you actually didn't wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, or maybe you're just having a hard time going to sleep. I don't know, you get older, that midlife age. Every woman I talk to is having problems sleeping. I had the same problems, but I'll tell you something. I slept through the night last night and I did not have a problem falling asleep. I didn't wake up over early. I think I finally figured out what to do to actually get sleep at this time in my life. And so I'm going to share some of the things that I have learned, and hopefully it'll help you too. I want to welcome you to Modern Matriarch. This is where, we come together, we all have a lot on our plates, but we want to live life with intention. And we have a lot of years left and we want to live them well. If that seems right for you, you're in the right place. In the last video, we talked about a reset, about how we can keep our energy up, our bodies going, and mental clarity. And one of the things we said during that video is that you have to be able to get good rest. Well, if you're not going to bed well, it's getting hard to fall asleep, and you're waking up in the middle of the night, or you're waking up extremely early, but you just can't fall back to sleep, you're not going to get the best sleep in the world. And so we need to find a way to fix that. This is what I came up with. So the first part is our hormones. We all discuss our hormones all the time on this channel, so get comfortable with it. The first thing is hormones, and it's running havoc with all of us, I'm sure. We've all had issues with them. So progesterone and cortisol are the two main ones that we deal with, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit. The other thing is we have so much on our plates, our minds just don't stop. Even when we're sleeping, we are checking off that list and thinking about what needs to be done and what we got to do next. It causes us to wake up in the middle of the night. So what do? Well, let's get into it. The first step is, I do believe that supplements is one of the biggest answers for us. There's two that I highly recommend. First, melatonin. That's what I started with, was melatonin. It helped. It helped me. It triggered that, it's time to go to sleep. It would help me get to sleep. And it worked for a really long time, but over time, I was falling asleep, but I'd still wake up and I was still tired the next day and groggy, and so it was great that I was falling asleep, but I needed to find a way to stay asleep. So that's where I go next. This is magnesium glycinate, and this one is Nature's Bounty. It helps you relax more. It says it supports muscle relaxation, bone, heart, and nerve health. And I found this to be extremely helpful in being able to stay asleep. Other than that, there is also oxide, which is more of a digestive issue and it doesn't absorb as well into your body. There's also magnesium oxide. Now that one, it is less expensive, but it is more for digestive and it just doesn't absorb into your body as well. It's not really as good for sleeping as well as magnesium citrate. So you definitely want magnesium glycinate. As far as dosage, this one is 240 milligrams. When I was at Sam's Club purchasing it, there was also a member's mark for 200 milligrams. I would have been happy starting with that as well. It was slightly less expensive. You just sort of have to test it out. I started out with one a night and it worked great for me, but you know, work with your doctor a little bit on this stuff. I am not a medical professional. I'm just sharing what has helped me and some things that I've found along the way as well. There's also other supplements out there as well, especially with teas and things like that, that can be very helpful. These are just two that I have tried, I have found that work, and I wanted to share with you. I also found out recently that progesterone can have a very calming effect on your body, and that can help you sleep as well. So I started taking my progesterone in the evening. I would still suggest doing estrogen during the morning because actually they sort of counter effect each other. The estrogen can give you a little bit more energy and the progesterone calms you. So I started trying it in the evenings and I stopped taking the magnesium glycinate in its place. So right now I am not taking either one of these. I just switched my progesterone into the evenings and it seems to be working for me. And so right now, I have not needed these other ones. I have them as backups, or if I start getting off track, who knows, I might go back to them. I'm definitely not getting rid of them. I'm going to keep them in my cabinet for when I need them. But right now, switching the progesterone to the evenings has taken care of the situation. I'm sleeping through the nights. I'm waking up at a realistic time. It works for me. So I don't think that's just the case with progesterone. I'm wondering what other medications you're taking, if you take other medications. Maybe those medications are affecting your sleep as well. And maybe it's just an adjustment of the time of day that you need to take your medications. Now, I am not suggesting playing around with switching medications without talking to your doctor. Definitely talk to a medical professional about anything you do with your medications. And you may even want to discuss supplements with them too, because you don't know how those supplements affect your medications. So definitely talk to a doctor. The next thing I think you really have to think about is your routines. In the evening, what does your routine look like? Are you still running around like a maniac before you go to bed? Or are you giving a chance for your body to wind down? I mean, let's think about this. We're running around like crazy all day and we never take a breath. And we're running and running, and a lot of times we have to do it into the evenings, and I get that. But at some point, we need to tell our bodies it's time to stop. We need to take care of ourselves. Maybe turn down the lights. You know, in the evenings, it doesn't have to be on all the time. We don't need to be on our phones 24/7 in the evenings. Put them away. The other thing is in the last video, the reset video, we talked about brain dumping. This would be a great time to do that. Just brain dump everything that you have in your brain. Just write it out on a piece of paper. Get it out of your brain and onto a piece of paper, because honestly, if it's written down, you're not worried about losing that thought. You know it's out there. You know you'll remember it because you wrote it down. It's amazing what a simple practice like that can help. Journaling is also really great. It's a very calming, relaxing thing. I don't know if you've heard of Zentangle, or drawing at night is helpful. Reading. I mean, something that's just very calming and relaxing. You know, when our kids are young, I used to always put the kids down for sleep, but before I would do that, they would get a bath, and then they would get a story read to them. Actually, before even that, before the bath, I would give them a snack, then it was bath time, then it was story time, and then it was time for rest. And you know what? They knew that was the routine, and it signaled their bodies to be able to sleep as well. And so that's really important. And you know what? As adults, that hasn't changed. And here's the biggest tip I can help give you. And it's something that really surprised me. A big reason why we wake up in the middle of the night is blood sugar drop. I found out that if you have a little protein before you go to bed, and I'm not talking about a full-fledged meal, I'm talking like a cheese stick, a yogurt. I love peanut butter, so sometimes I'll have a spoonful of peanut butter even. Nutri-Shakes work really good for this. But that really made a difference in sleeping through the night. My blood sugar level was dropping and it spiked me to wake up. Now I always make sure I have a little bit of protein before I go to bed. And I don't think that kids should be the only ones who get that bedtime snack or that bedtime routine. I think we can all use that. So now let's say you go to bed and you're still having a hard time falling asleep. You've taken your melatonin or you've taken your magnesium glycinate to make sure you stay asleep and you're still having a hard time. Me and my husband have both found that listening to calming, relaxing music while we're trying to sleep has really helped us. It just distracts your mind from everything that's going on and you're focusing on that instead. The one I use, it's a free app. It's called Insight Timer. It is a free app. They do have purchases that you can make if you want to upgrade. I've been fine so far with the free app, but it also has tracking and all that. There's a lot. Check it out. It's a good app. But that helps me with sleep. Some people find guided meditation really helpful, and that can be useful as well. Insight Timer has that as well. And there's other different apps that you can use for this kind of stuff. You know, you just have to try different things out. And that is one thing to note, especially with supplements and medications, anything you change with this kind of stuff. You really need to do one at a time and be careful about doing too much of this stuff. You want to make sure it's within reason. And honestly, if you're going to do more than one especially, you might want to talk to your doctor. Make sure you're not doing anything that's going to throw your body off either. So what happens when you wake up in the middle of the night and you just can't fall back to sleep? That's frustrating, isn't it? I know, and I get it. So when you wake up in the middle of the night, the first thing they say is don't check what time it is. I have to say, for me, that makes it harder because then I'm just always thinking about what time is it and do I even have time or want to try to fall back to sleep. So I don't totally agree with that statement of don't check what time it is. That you're going to have to decide for yourself what works and what doesn't work. So I usually do check what time it is, but I would not suggest starting to scroll. Don't touch that phone other than that. Check what time it is. And then the next thing is don't stress out about having to fall asleep going, oh my God, I only have this many hours back to work, or I got to be here in the morning. You know, just stop. You're just stressing yourself out. Instead, just close your eyes. Just start breathing in and breathing out and breathing in. Just take a minute and breathe and calm yourself and relax and try to let those thoughts just sort of disappear and really just think about it's okay to go back to sleep and see if that works. Now, I'll admit sometimes that doesn't work. I've been there. So the next thing I would say is maybe get up, go to the bathroom, maybe have a slight snack, but then try to go to bed again. If that doesn't work, then I would say try to do something that's very quieting, like reading a book, or put that insight timer back on. Just give your body a chance to relax. And hopefully it'll work. I'm not saying that this will work every time, but I am telling you that these tricks have helped me, and I'm hoping they help you too. But let's keep going. The last thing I will suggest is you guys have some perspective. What do you really need for sleep? If you're going to bed at 10 o'clock at night and you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, is that really a bad amount of sleep? Okay, before I even go into this, let me tell you a little story. So I was at work one day and I was talking to one of my coworkers, and she was talking about how she wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning every morning. And I'm like, geez, if I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I feel like I didn't get a good night's sleep. So this is why I say let's have some perspective. You know, most of us only need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep, and everybody's different, so I can't tell you exactly how much sleep you need. But, you know, if you're getting 5 hours of sleep, probably not enough. But I don't think you probably need 10 or 12 hours of sleep either. So you're going to have to find what works for you and what you really need. But I am saying you need a little bit of perspective and decide what you actually decide you need. Basically, the goal isn't a number. We're not running after a number. We're really deciding, do we feel tired during the day? Are we feeling groggy during the day? What do we need to do to keep our energy up because remember, sleep affects a lot of things. It affects our energy level, our mood. Let me tell you, your significant other or your friends or your coworkers are going to be a lot happier if you get a decent night's sleep. Just saying. Even mental clarity, you'd be amazed. And sleep is restorative. So if you're going through anything, or if you're tired, or your body needs healing, if you're feeling sore and achy, it might be that you're not getting enough sleep. This is important, you guys. We need good sleep. So I have a quick checklist here, and I'm just going to read it off to you because otherwise I won't remember what I want to tell you. So, how do you feel when you wake up in the morning? That actually tells you more than a clock. And it's amazing. I'll be honest, normally I don't need an alarm clock anymore because I work for myself. I've been reselling on eBay for many years now, and I'm also starting to do this. I have a lot of different side projects, a lot of different side hustles, and I'll share them with you one of these days. But how do you feel when you wake up? Do you feel exhausted? Next one. Am I waking up during the night? Let me tell you, I was waking up every night. My husband's like, you never sleep. Until, I will say the biggest game changer was the protein before we go to bed. Remember, the nighttime snack ain't just for kids, you guys. We deserve it too. And it really made a difference. And then either the melatonin, which it worked for me for a long time, but waking up in the middle of the night, magnesium glycinate, that's the one. What happens when I wake up? Do I stay calm or do I just start thinking immediately? You know, when you first wake up in the morning, you should have a restful feeling. You should be more calm and not anxious. If you are, then you might want to look at some of these, especially the magnesium, or talk to your doctors, because you shouldn't feel anxious and excitable and just like going crazy with your thoughts first thing in the morning. Am I giving myself a wind down? And I'm telling you guys, you're going to sleep so much better. Routines make a difference, and I am a huge proponent of routines. Now, Should they be so stringent that you can't do anything else in life? No, I'm not saying that. But I will say your mind, your body, and your success can really come down to your routines. So I ask you these questions not to judge your sleeping routine. It's more so that you can understand your sleeping routine and what's going on. And once you understand what's going on, you can start looking for solutions. And like I said earlier, just try one at a time. Don't try too many different changes at one time. Definitely work with your doctor. It's a good thing to keep him involved as well. The other thing is understand how important sleep is. Earlier I went through all the reasons, and it's no joke. You want to live a full, happy life. And you guys, we got a lot more years. We don't want to sleep through them. We don't want to be tired and fatigued during it. I hope you're able to take one or two things from this video. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button. And I would love it if you subscribe as well. But we're going to have a whole lot of videos for women in midlife who are going through a lot and want to live it fully. So if that resonates with you, make sure to tune in next time, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye.